Because Nude Tuesday is such an intimate film, nudity, there's love scenes, there's lots of rolling around and interacting. It was like the opposite of what we'd had to do at home, all locked up in our houses, not allowed to go out, masks on. It was like the opposite. So it was such a joy to just be out in nature, rolling around, doing nude hikes up really cold mountains. It was so great.
So what is Nude Tuesday about?
Now, Nude Tuesday is about a very kind of conservative suburban couple that go to a New Age retreat to try and save their flailing marriage.
Continuamos repetir, mamãe.
Ai. C'était les photos. No, compa.
And what we decided to do, because we were dealing with themes of miscommunication and misinterpretation, I said to Aman Ballantyne, the director, I said, how about we film everything in gibberish so nobody can understand anybody, and then have comedians from around the world subtitle it after we finish the movie? And she loved that idea. So that's what we did.
Okay.
Can you talk then about the process of writing the film and then rehearsing in English and filming in gibberish?
I wrote the screenplay in English with English dialogue, but what I was constantly trying to do was make sure that I wasn't exposing any really important story information through dialogue. So I made sure that without the dialogue, you can still follow the narrative through the pictures. So we would rehearse in English. We did 2 weeks of rehearsals, also to learn the gibberish, so we could all kind of start sounding like we're from a similar part of the world with maybe a variety of dialects. Like I was very Italian when I started rehearsal, so I really had to move away from Italy and try and head towards Scandinavia a little. And so then, even on set, we would rehearse the scene in English, Aman would block it, then we'd flip it into gibberish for one rehearsal. And then, Aman would say, okay, let's roll camera, roll sound, let's flip into gibberish and action. And we would just all flip into improvised gibberish, but with the same emotional intentions as we'd rehearsed.
Audio, Voruktus, Jop, Grutus X.
And was there any kind of rules for consistency of language with the gibberish? For example, hello is hey ya, but did you have certain words like hello, yes, no, thank you, should always be pronounced this way?
Yeah, so we worked with a great dialect coach, Perry Piercy, and with her we created, of course, like an umbrella of sounds and things to try and create something coherent. And also, we had about 8 established words, I think. Like you say, hey ya for hello, chula, thank you, pita, sorry, ardet, goodbye. And then, of course, everyone's names, we wanted the same, just to kind of anchor it into reality. And then Jermaine came down on set a few days after we started, and he started just doing English with an accent for some of his lines, which I thought was quite funny. I was like, that's just English with an accent. And he was like, yes, but because I'm the guru, I would be showing off my ability to speak English. And I was like, that's true. That's actually very good. But then all the other actors started doing it the next day. And so I was like, no, only Jermaine. Only Jermaine.
Klopt. Maximum arousal.
Why did you then decide to get comedians in to rewrite the script in post-production to create kind of new versions of the film?
Well, you see, Aman and I had this grand vision, and we still do. We've created this world and the pictures and the performances and the story, but we love the idea that it's kind of also just like a template, so that multiple people could come in and interpret it. We love the idea of, because I can only write through my own lens, of course, my own experiences in the world. And I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful for people to write through different lenses, whether it be cultural or gender or whatever, and interpret whatever this couple who are really struggling in this relationship, and create their own version of it.
Are you ever going to release that original version with subtitles from your script?
Well, I've been asked that a lot in the last month, actually. My intention is no. People seem to be interested in it. Like lots of the Q&As I've done, people are like, will you just at least publish it as a manuscript that we can look at? And I'm like, no. My intention is no. It was just a guide.
Er is toch een beetje
what were some of the challenges you faced during production?
Well, just your usual challenges in production, money getting a bit tight, having a great snowfall and then the sun coming out and melting all the snow you needed for the next day, and us, going, oh no, there's no snow. And so, like quickly hiring a snow machine and trying to move money around in the budget, all of those things.
What do you hope audiences will take away from watching Nude Tuesday?
Well, one thing that Aman and I really wanted to do with the nudity was actually, especially in this part of the world, in Australasia, was to normalize nudity and to detach it from a sexuality. We didn't sexualize the nudity. And so we really wanted to just put these beautiful nude humans into the landscape. So I'm really hoping that audiences see that in that last 15 minutes and kind of enjoy that aspect of it. Also, I think for Aman and I, there's a real kind of, the film feels like it's a real celebration of human connection and diversity as well. So I hope that audiences, leave the cinema and feel like it was an inclusive, celebratory experience. Yeah.